Welcome back, everybody. Happy Veterans Day to all those who have served in our great armed forces. Joining me now is Darren Southwick. He's a senior advisor of Veteran Action, which is championing policies that protect veterans' rights, expanding their healthcare access, and strengthening accountability within the VA. Three ideas I think we could all agree on. Darren, great to have you on the show today. Happy Veterans Day.
Well, thank you. As a veteran myself, I appreciate this day, especially the free meals. But thanks for getting some important stuff to talk about. And Veterans Day is much more than just free meals, as we all know. It's the once a year honoring the service of all the men and women who fight for this country and die for this country every year. So thanks for having me on to talk about this important subject.
It's an honor to have you on. We honor your service. You've got a big idea, a Veteran Bill of Rights. It's kind of hard to imagine that it hasn't been done before, but it codifying what our veterans are entitled to have for their great service to our country. Tell us a little bit about it and where it's going.
Right. So one of the reasons we created the Veterans Bill of Rights was because during the Biden administration, we just saw veterans' rights being taken away from them. I mean, for example, gun rights taken away from veterans who need help managing their benefits. Red flagging veterans, restricting their care based on what they considered inappropriate comment through a disruptive behavior committee. So taking away their right to health care, taking away their guns. And we've seen story after story of where veterans are not able to appeal, not able to get service in a time, and really not following a couple key tenets from veterans that you may have heard of, Teddy Roosevelt and Omar Bradley. A man who's good enough from Teddy Roosevelt to shed his blood for his country is good enough to give in a square deal afterwards. And from General Omar Bradley, we are dealing with veterans, not procedures, with their problems, not ours. So veterans have been struggling and not getting their benefits or not getting them timely. And VA is supposed to be for veterans, and that's supposed to be your only job. And so we needed something to codify to really spell out how you're going to treat the veteran well, how the veterans are going to be able to get what they want without a hassle and get that benefit they so deserved. And so we also wanted to know, and the Trump administration is fixing the excesses and the problems at the Biden, but we wanted to make sure post-Trump that we always had, no matter who was in power, the ability of veterans to get their care, to get their service, to get their benefits and be treated with respect and have their rights upheld and not be treated as second citizens in an organization that's supposed to be meant for them.
Yeah, it shouldn't have to be codified. It should be natural to all of us, but the Biden year shows it does need to be codified. So tell us a little bit about where this Bill of Rights ultimately could be codified. I suppose Congress could take care of it. The executive order of a president could take care of it. The VA could implement it within their own. How far do you want to see this Bill of Rights go?
I'd love to see all three, to tell you the truth. There's nothing better than Congress codifying it. I mean, even the IRS has a Bill of Rights, right, for taxpayers. Yeah. But ultimately, doing a resolution, codifying these Bill of Rights makes them absolute permanent. In the meantime, going from bottom on up, Secretary Collins could go ahead and do a secretarial directive. We'd love to see that, to go ahead and start putting this into policy and start changing policies and bad procedures. We'd love President Trump, once he's familiar and hears about this, to do an executive order. And we have sent this over to the White House. Certainly an executive order would send the message immediately and help passage of the codification. But we believe in all three, to send the message and to get things rolling. But ultimately, codification with Congress would be the ultimate step to make sure that veterans knew that not only did the president and the secretary have their back, but the entire Congress had their back, and it's needed. It's needed, and on Veterans Day, that's why we're launching on Veterans Day. This has to happen.
Yeah, it's such a great idea and long overdue, quite frankly. So there's a lot of things in here that are pretty obvious: freedom of choice, respect and dignity, awareness of benefits. One that's important to me because of my own personal reporting: informed consent. We have obviously the most famous or infamous example of the Tuskegee experiment, but more recently, even just about a decade ago, I did some reporting on a project that gave veterans an anti-smoking cessation product that had side effects that they didn't tell them about. Informed consent is a really important part of this, and there's been a history of it not always being perfect at the VA, right?
Yeah, I think that's right, until they discover what they're not. Yeah, they do a lot of things that are not been informed consent till they get discovered. Releasing of privacy information, telling you that you have to opt out, otherwise they consider it informed consent. With your things with your health care, you know, driving on your benefits. So there's a lot of shenanigans that go on, and we want to make sure that before veterans, whether it's having choice for community care, which the Veterans Access Act will take care of, whether it's in participating in research, whether it's getting medications, whether it's your claims, or other benefits on the benefit side, we want to make sure the veterans have informed consent, that they know what they're signing away, or they know what they're participating in, and that they have to opt in rather than opt out. So informed consent is very important American principle, and a principle for veterans who access their VA.
All very common sense, really important stuff. All right, I want to turn to some of the America First policies that Doug Collins and President Trump have implemented. The VA still has a long way to go. Everyone will agree with that. But there's been some good progress made in the first 8-9 months of this administration. Tell us about it.
Well, I mean, one of the key things was implementation of the Dole Act, and that was best medical interest. So you had a veteran and a doctor saying, for the best medical interest, need to use community care, and some chief of staff, some secret administrative panel was overriding that. And so now it really is, if it's in your best medical interest, you can actually get the care in the community, and you can't have some bureaucrat overriding it. Secretary Collins has also made it very clear, policy-wise, and to all the staff, that you're going to treat veterans well. You're going to uphold the Mission Act. You're going to approve the community care. Now he's got a big job, because there's not any political appointees right now. John Barnum, nominee, hopefully will be confirmed next month, but he's in the process of getting a bunch of political appointees over there to make sure that 400,000 careers actually follow the Mission Act and actually follow the do it. So that's a big step. Another big important thing was, rather than VA, just giving you a few community care appointments and taking you back, he said, no, we're going to make sure, like everyone else in industry and across the country, your appointments are good for a year. So that was important, that continuity of care, ability to get community care, ability to not be forced back into the system. These are just two of the improvements that he's doing. And I know he's got a lot of other improvements in the works. And of course, he is a big champion of the Veterans Access Act, which will give him additional power and authority permanently to go ahead and make these changes, codification of the access standards, making sure the careers actually tell veterans that they're eligible for community care, doing the appeals. So we see the first big operational of our Veterans Bill of Rights is the Veterans Access Act, which takes care of a lot of the principles that are in our Bill of Rights.
Yeah, so very important. It's funny, a lot of times, another thing veterans tell me in the last few months, they're just proud to see America standing strong. They know how much they gave of their own effort to make a strong America. I think they appreciate the fact that the president is standing strong on the world stage, something that didn't happen the last 4 years. Darren Southwick, you've always been standing strong. You're always working hard for the veterans. Great to have you in the show today. For people who are listening, what's the best way to stay in touch with your group and the great work it's doing?
Go to our website, veteranaction.org, and there you can put your own name down as a supporter of the Veterans Bill of Rights. You can be part of the grassroots team, and you can spread the word. So we need the grassroots. We need the average person who watches your show to support it. You don't have to be a veteran to support this. So go to veteranaction.org, sign up, be part of the solution.
Yeah, what a great idea. Darren, thank you so much, and happy Veterans Day. Thanks for joining us, my friend.
Thank you so much for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, what a great idea, folks. Go check it out, veteransaction.org, the Veterans Bill of Rights. What a great idea on this Veterans Day. All right, quick commercial break. More with Amanda when we come back. Hey, America, the FBI has been warning about a type of real estate fraud on the rise called home title theft, and your equity is the target. Here's how it works. Criminals forge your signature on a single document, use a fake notary stamp, then file it with the county, and just like that, boom, they're on record as owning your home. Using your ownership, they then take out loans against your equity or even sell your property, and you're not going to know about it until you get a foreclosure or collection notice in the mail, and that's not going to be a good moment. That's why I partnered with Home Title Lock, so you can protect your equity and find out today if you're already a victim. Use my promo code JTN at HometitleLock.com. You'll get a free title history report and a free child. Their $1 million triple lock protection. That's a great deal. $1 million to protect your home. That's 24/7 monitoring of your title records, urgent alerts to any changes, and if fraud occurs, their U.S.-based restoration team will spend up to $1 million to fix it. Find out why I trust Home Title Lock. Protect yourself like I did. Don't be a victim. Protect your equity today. Go to HometitleLock.com and use that promo code JTN. That's HometitleLock.com, promo code JTN.